My name is Christine Sorensen, and I am the pastoral minister here at the Church of the Risen Savior. On November 17th, a funeral mass was celebrated here for George Kohler. Many of you may remember George out in our commons on Sister Parish weekend, a cup of coffee and a donut in hand, talking with people about our relationship with the people in Grigri. He worked tirelessly for them, so much so that at the same time his funeral was going on here at Risen Savior, Father Fayant was saying a funeral mass for George in Grigri. At the funeral mass, George's wife Karen told a beautiful story about her husband. It is a heart-moving and beautiful reflection on giving. As we enter into the Advent season, this story is one that I believe will remind all of us of what is truly important, not just during this season, but all year long. We've asked Karen to tell you this story.
Thank you, Chris. My name is Karen Kohler. I'm George Kohler's wife. This is a story I told about George at his funeral, not about who George was as a husband or as a father or a grandfather, but about who George was as a person. It's about something that happened during his second to last hospitalization down at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester in July. It's about a conversation we had about Haiti with a wonderful male nurse from Eritrea. After the conversation was over and this male nurse had left, another nurse came in and she said, "I just wanted to meet you and shake your hand. He can't stop talking about you out at the desk, about what a wonderful man is in room 402. I knew as George and I were having this conversation with the nurse from Eritrea about Haiti that day, that I would one day be up in front of church telling his story at the funeral. This is what George said in pretty much his own words. It must have been about my second trip to Haiti. We had collected shoes from the members of the parish to take down with us for the school children, and we had asked Father to pick out the children who were most in need of new shoes. He gathered them all together in the rectory, and we distributed all the shoes and took pictures of them with their new shoes and their happy faces. When I left the rectory and came to the gate outside, there was a little girl of about 4 or 5 standing there pointing to her bare feet. I had to try to explain to her as best I could, since I didn't speak Haitian Creole, and I tried to do it with sign language. I had to try and tell her that all the shoes were gone and we had nothing left for her. It was heartbreaking, but with my heavy heart, I went on to the clinic and did what I needed to do there. When I came back, there she was again. Only this time she stood there with her little brother of about 3, pointing to his bare feet. With tears in his eyes and with a shaking voice, George said, I had to try to explain again that the shoes were all gone and that we did not have any for her little brother either. This is a story about Haiti because there's never enough. But it's also a story about George, that so sick in the hospital, so many years later, he was still crying over that little girl and her brother. Then he said, when I first went to Haiti, I would go outside and I would shake my fist at the sky and ask God, why do they have so little? But later on, after more trips down, I would shake my fist at the sky and ask God, why do I have so much? That was George. It's a question that we could perhaps all ask ourselves, even in these times. Why do we have so much when others have so little?
Thank you, Karen, for sharing this story with us. For more information on how you can help the children of Haiti, especially the children at St. Rose of Lima School, please go to www.ourchildrenofpromisehaiti.org.